darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm reviewing Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. This is a Beauty and the Beast story combined with some major Greek mythology and kind of a Rumpelstiltskin story going on here. So this is a standalone novel despite how similar it looks to Crimson Bound. They don't really exist within the same world, so you can totally just read one of these books, you don't have to read them both. Although they're both amazing, so totally you should. So the main character in this story is Nyx, and Nyx's parents had trouble conceiving, so they went to the Gentle Lord, this evil ruler of their country who makes bargains. And they make an agreement with him that if he helps them have children, they will give him one of their kids. So they end up having twins, and because of this agreement, they have to pick one of the girls to give to him that he's going to marry. So Nyx spends most of her childhood knowing that she's going to have to go and marry this evil ruler who she doesn't like because he tricked her parents. In the process of she and her sister being born, their mother died. She blames the ruler for her mother's death, and so Nyx is this pretty bitter and distant character. She doesn't trust easily. She doesn't really feel close to her family because the entire time they knew that she was going to leave, so she doesn't try too hard to get close to them. She resents her sister who doesn't have to have this fate that she has, and her dad never really seems to connect with her, like he's keeping her distant also. However, Nyx and her father do come up with a plan on how to kill the evil lord. So she goes to the ruler's castle with this plan on how she's going to assassinate him. So the ruler has a couple of things going on with him. One, he makes these bargains which never seem quite fair. Like there's tricks in them. Like people only go to him when they're really desperate, and he can use that to his advantage. And also he demands these offerings from the people, and whenever the offerings aren't met, they get attacked with demons, which is not pleasant and fun, so the people resent him for that also. So Nyx goes in there completely hating him. He's the most awful creature ever. He's not quite human. Definitely not a good start to the relationship. But the Gentle Lord, whose name is Ignifex, he's pretty despicable and evil. He won't even deny it. But it turns out that he's actually trying to keep the demons at bay, and sometimes the demons escape him, so he's not trying to sick the demons on humans, which kind of makes him slightly better, but he still makes really awful bargains and pretty demanding of his people. But at the same time, he has this personality where he can be really charming at the same time that he can be really cruel. And it makes a very intriguing character. Nyx is also sometimes very bitter and cruel, so the two of them together make this really weird relationship. So Nyx and Ignifex's relationship is kind of this back and forth thing, especially in Nyx's perspective, where she goes back and forth between whether or not she likes him. Sometimes he does something and she really hates him for him, and then sometimes he does something and she kind of relates to him and loves him a bit. It makes an interesting relationship. Like, there's never a point in there where I don't understand why Nyx feels the way she does. Also in the castle we have Shade, who is the only servant that they have. And Shade is this creature who can't talk. And he's interesting. Let's put it that way. I enjoyed finding out about Shade. The castle has these rooms that move around and change, which was cool. There's a couple of different libraries in here, not just the one major one, which I liked. There were lots and lots of twists in here, and it was kind of unpredictable, didn't exactly know where they're going with it. It also builds a lot off of in-world folklore, stories that Nyx grew up hearing about the Gentle Lord and about other gods and stuff they have in their world. I really enjoyed the world building, but it's a bit confusing especially at the beginning, to kind of just roll with it, I guess, if you're having trouble. There's nothing in there that was like I could not wrap my head around and understand like what was happening. And it does, it's its own thing, so like you don't have to go into this knowing Greek mythology or, you know, traditional Beauty and the Beast or Rumpelstiltskin stories. It's all explained. It still takes a bit to explain everything and still make it native to the story, where it's never like, hey, info dump. I think it's a really awesome book and I loved it. I gave this book 4 stars, and basically I just wanted more. Like, I didn't like the way the book just kind of ended too. Like, I want an epilogue with what happens after that point. So I enjoyed Cruel Beauty. Totally go check it out if you love fairy tales or Beauty and the Beast or Rumpelstiltskin or Greek mythology, or you just really I don't know, mysteries, I guess, heroines who save themselves. Yeah, I liked it, basically. Yeah. Peace out, I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.